We'll have bits and pieces and the information about the holiday weekend coming up and how to stay safe for sure. All right, here come the Braves. Atlanta is 70-63. That's what the Marlins want in the worst way. They want that 70th win tonight as well. Matt Diaz leads it off. Martin Prado is second. Chipper had a night off until he had a big pinch hit double. He's at third. Brian McCann behind the plate. Garrett Anderson's in left field. Yunel Escobar at short. Adam LaRoche at first. Ryan Church in center. Tommy Henson on the mound. And just about every one of these Braves has good numbers against that man.
Yeah, it's going to have to take a top-notch performance from Ricky Nolasco tonight to pick up win number 10. He's 1-4 in his career against Atlanta with an ERA over 5. And as Rich mentioned, collectively the 8 starters in the lineup are hitting over 380 with 9 home runs against Ricky Nolasco. He's going to have to throw quality pitches.
Defensively, and this is a real different look than last night.
Yeah, check it out tonight. Chris Coughlin, Cameron Maben in center, and Brett Carroll in right. With Cantu and Nick Johnson's back in the lineup. Andy Gonzalez, the shortstop, and John Baker behind the plate. We saw Andy a lot in the spring, and we saw him briefly earlier in the year. He gets the start at short tonight.
Matt Diaz, like a bad penny, just won't go away. A guy that has tormented the Marlins in his career this year and in this series. And Nolasco fires a fastball high. It is 1-0. Diaz, 4 hits in the series. He's 6 for 11 in his career against Nolasco. And a breaking ball for a strike. And it's 1-1. As we told you, Ricky's last start against Atlanta, on this mound, 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 5 punch-outs. 100 pitches through 7 innings. Mark Wiley talked about that today as being a real key against the Braves. Because in his other start against the Braves this year, Tommy, he went just 4 1/3 and threw 95 pitches. He got the loss in Atlanta.
Yeah, he gave up 9 hits and 4 runs in that game at Turner Field.
And this is the type of spot right here, 1 and 2 on a hitter, that Wiley talked about. It's easy to try to go for the strikeout rather than just try to get the out. And he gets the out with the strikeout. And that's a good pitch, Tommy, because that's in on his hands. It's a pitch that Diaz is going to swing at.
Hitters like Matt Diaz love to get extended and love to dive out over the plate. So if you crowd him with a good fastball in that area, that's just an excellent pitch.
Nolasco gets the first out. Here is Prado. Martin Prado has struggled in this series, 1 for 12. 1 for 3 in his career against Ricky, and a high fastball misses up. Jim Wolf is behind home plate. His brother, big league pitcher Randy Wolf. Adrian Johnson's down at first. Gary Cedarstrom at second. And Fielding Coolbreth is down at third base. Fielding Coolbreth, who had to play peacemaker last night. That's something I don't think we've even talked about through the pregame and at the start of the game, was
Diaz getting hit.
Matt Diaz getting hit, being angry about it. But I think after settling down, and even Diaz himself said it, that he didn't think that Wood was throwing at him with runners at first and at third in a 1-run game. But if you got drilled in the back with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, you wouldn't be happy either.
You don't think about all those things at that time.
2-1 to Prado. High pop. Johnson trotting after it. Great to see Nick Johnson back in uniform and back at first base for the Fish. The one area of concern, he just walked through it, and that's that area that is very slippery behind first base where they dump the water off the tarp. There's a look at it. Got to be careful on your way out there. Here's the 2-2 coming to Prado. And it stays 2-2.
Well, one thing, Nick Johnson has some help behind him in Brett Carroll in right field, and Dan Uggla can get over there quickly.
This is a very good defensive outfield in terms of range. Breaking ball misses inside. Coughlin got the good speed in left, Maben in center, and Carroll in right. To call it the Marlins' best defensive outfield, you'd have to include Cody Ross in the mix somehow. This is the type of a bat that Mark Wiley told us that Nolasco has to stay away from. A grinded out at bat. See, you can see the look on the pitching coach of the Fish.
Yeah, a lot of times there isn't a whole lot you can do about it.
He's making good pitches.
He's made good pitches. Sometimes you have to give that hitter a little credit. Now, in the case of Kawakami the other night, I don't know if that's the right way, because you have a pitcher. You should be able to put him away. But when you have a hitter up there like Prado, he's just fouling off tough pitches.
The Rockies have lost. The Mets beat them 8-3. That was earlier this afternoon. The Cubs lost to the White Sox. Outside corner, Chin Wolf rings them up, and Ricky gets 2 punch outs to open up the first inning.
Well, so far he's making quality pitches, and we talked about it at the top of the telecast here. He has to against this ball club. Made a good pitch to get Diaz, and that one borderline. Prado takes it for strike 3.
Now Chipper Jones. Jones had the night off until the Braves called him in the 7th inning and said, get in there and drive in a run. And he drove in 3 with a double in the gap in left center. This was last night.
I think sometimes when you see a hitter and Chipper Jones staying back and taking that pitch the other way, that's a good sign for him, a bad sign for Ricky Nolasco.
Here's the 0-1. Chipper drives that ball to right center field. Maben ambles over, and Cameron is there, makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 go the Braves. Here comes the Fish, and here comes the fireballer, Tommy Hanson. Here come the Fish. Marlins at 69 and 64. Chris Coughlin leads it off. Cameron Maben in center field. Nick Johnson hits third. Jorge Cantu at third. Hanley still out of the lineup. John Baker is the catcher. Dan Uggla at second. Brett Carroll in right. Andy Gonzalez gets the start at short, just called up. And Ricky Nolasco is on the mound.
You know, in Atlanta, when the Marlins faced Tommy Hanson for the first time, he went through the first 4 innings and didn't give up the base hit. The Marlins got to him for 3 runs. There were only 3 off of him in the 5th. But now that they've seen him, he's got good stuff. There's no question about it. Good live arm, Good fastball, slider, changeup.
Coughlin stands in. And Chris takes outside. If you've just joined us, Chris Coughlin today named National League Rookie of the Month. And also had votes and was in the running for the National League Player of the Month award. That went to Ryan Howard.
And interesting, he faces Tommy Hanson, who was the June National League Rookie of the Month, going 4-0. And a guy he's going to be in competition with for Rookie of the Year.
There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Hanson just turned 23. Coughlin stays on that breaking ball. Coughlin turned 24 in June, so you got a couple of youngsters who certainly will see a lot of each other over the next 3, 4, 5 years.
You have a feeling watching both of these young guys, and even Tommy Hanson, who we've only seen once, that they're going to be around a long time in this league.
And I think talking about both of these guys, Bobby Cox talking about Hanson, Freddie talking about Coughlin, the word poise included in their descriptions of both these guys. They arrived at the big leagues with an awful lot of poise, and Hanson arrived with a snapdragon curveball as well.
See what the defense looks like for Bobby Cox. Garrett Anderson, Church, and Diaz. Chipper Jones, LaRoche. He has Prado at second base. Escobar's the shortstop, and you guessed it, Brian McCann behind the plate.
You know, the guy in the Marlins lineup, actually the guy in a Marlins uniform that has seen the most of Hanson, that has had the most at bats, is Cameron Maben. Maben said when he was coming up in the Tigers organization on the backfield in the minor league games in spring training, he would see him. And then last year in AA and in the postseason last year, Maben said he faced Hanson. And Chris Medlin, the fine reliever that has come out of the Braves bullpen and been a nice middleman for Bobby Cox. Maben said both those guys were on the starting staff of the AA team for the Braves, and both were really, really good. Here's the 1-1. Maben smokes it. Into the corner it goes. Cameron around first. He's got the wing flapping, and he's into second base. Boy, that's great to see. If he has the September this year that he had last year, the Marlins are going to get a big shot in the arm.
That's a nice boost, and he takes care of a fastball that's down and in. Just smokes it. Quickness with the bat. Gets it over Chipper's head quickly into that corner, and then gets the flap going. There it is. Great to see.
Rock and roll, baby, rock and roll.
So here's Nick Johnson now, out since August 16th. Johnson returns. The Marlins were 7-10 in his absence, and they missed him, that's for sure. Johnson, who was such a nice jump start to the Marlins offense in the first 2 weeks of August. And Hanson has missed twice, both on fastballs.
Now, for some reason, it feels like Nick has played more than just 13 games with the Marlins.
As a Marlin, hitting .308. And he went after the 2-0 pitch. It's 2-1.
He may change his thinking just a little bit, hitting in the third spot compared to number 2, but he's pretty consistent with his approach at the plate.
His on-base percentage as a Marlin over 400, 462. Right now he's looking for an RBI, and he sends that one into the seats. 2-2. It's one of the important things and one of the reasons why you try to have a minor league affiliate in driving distance of your big league team, is so that a guy like Johnson can stay with the team, go up, play in some rehab games, and be right there.
He doesn't have to pack everything up, fly somewhere, get to that team. So you're absolutely right. And it's another reason the Marlins have changed their other affiliates up in Jacksonville, AA, New Orleans, AAA, all in very much better proximity than before.
You can pick up the phone and say, get here, and get here fast. Count's full. Hanson misses outside. Nick Johnson walks.
16 walks, 8 strikeouts as a Marlin.
Earlier tonight, Freddie talked about his lineup card.
Giving Cody a day. You know, we were planning on it for about 4 or 5 days now. And then Hermie going down with the oblique. You know, he may need a couple days. So we'll run Maben in there and BC, who's going to be pretty good at bats.
Been a tough series for Cody Ross, too. 0 for 10 in the series. And as Freddie mentioned, he planned to give him a day off, so this is a good opportunity.
Been a good series for Jorge Cantu. 7 for 13, 3 RBIs. And he had the big hit against Hanson in Atlanta. Jorge had the night off, and then all of a sudden, middle of the ball game, Freddie said, get in there, I need a pinch hitter, and he drove in 2 with a pinch hit single. Maben at second, Johnson at first. 1 out. We're just underway, bottom of the first.
One other thing that everybody has to keep their mind on and aware of, Bo Porter at third base. He has to realize Nick Johnson, who's a below average runner anyway, but you certainly don't want to have to extend him and maybe give that hamstring some problems.
Cantu takes, and it's 2-1. Hanson's last full start was against the Marlins, because the last time he went out there, it was in Philadelphia. It was a rain-shortened game.
That was that game against Pedro.
Hey, he and Pedro pitched just 2 innings.
Yeah, but Pedro didn't get the loss.
No.
Hanson gave up just 1 run.
Cantu early on that one and yanks it foul.
Yeah, unfortunately for Hanson, he gave up 2 hits and a run in his 2 innings, and the game was resumed, and he was tagged with the loss.
And that was the twice now on a Pedro start that's been stopped by rain. A Jamie Moyer relief appearance. Moyer ends up going 5 or 6 innings and getting the win.
Pretty good matchup tonight in Philly. Pedro against Tim Lincecum.
That is a great matchup.
The old and the new.
Brad Penny was spectacular last night. Yeah. 3-2. The Marlins have made Hanson work. And you can see the Giants have scored first in Philadelphia. Rockies have lost. The Mets beat them this afternoon. Baker waits.
Yeah, and there was actually interleague play today, too.
White Sox shut out the Cubs at Wrigley 5-0. Cantu fouls it back. Our weather tonight brought to you by Mikasuki. Come play our way. 76 degrees. Always odd when the humidity is higher than the temperature. Rain in the area. Full count, 1 out. Runners are on the move, and Cantu pops it up. Everybody returning back to their bases, and the guy that I'm sure everybody was watching wasn't Cameron Maben. It was Nick Johnson to make sure that he was okay as he sprinted back to first.
Well, I'll tell you what, Yunel Escobar knew that too, because he was the one who caught that pop fly, and he was keeping his eye on Nick Johnson.
So here's Bake. John
Come on, Johnny, baby. Love you,
chatting
baby.
with Brian McCann. He's already had, I'm sure, plenty of time to start his conversation that will last 3 hours with Jim Wolf.
There's a special bond back there between a catcher and an umpire.
And when both catchers and the umpire are there, everybody's in on the conversation.
Look at Jim Wolf. He's got a smile. They're all conversing about something. As soon as he makes a bad call, though, that'll all change.
Baker 2 for 6 in this series. He has been one of the Marlins' best with runners in scoring position. 338. You can see a few raindrops starting to fall. That rides outside. Paulino got the start last night. Baker on Monday night was 2 for 4.
Pitch count up there a little bit in his first inning, 24. Tommy Hanson, who was a 22nd round pick by the Braves out of junior college, Riverside Community College. I talked to him a little bit the other day. He said in high school he really wasn't that highly sought after because he only threw about 84, 85 miles an hour. He said as he got to junior college, that's when he started to develop, got a little bigger. Fastball got a few more miles an hour on it.
That's where a scout sees the frame and sees what could be and convinces his organization to take a chance and draft him. He was a draft and follow guy. Braves drafted him, didn't sign him until after he went to junior college. Big swing and a miss. Back then, you had until the next draft to sign him. Now, I believe it's mid or late August, and it's a hard line.
So only a few months.
Yes.
Now.
Two. Good sharp breaking ball. Marlins leave a couple. They made him work, but it's still scoreless. Scoreless ball game, second inning in South Florida. Next watch party is at the Rivals Waterfront Sports Grill in Hollywood. It's Wednesday. It's Marlins and Mets at 7:10. Billy and the Mermaids will be there. You can win tickets to upcoming games, enjoy great food and drink specials, and we'll put your picture on the telecast that night. There's the number to call, 1-877-MARLINS. Here's Brian McCann with Garrett Anderson and Yunel Escobar. Velasco misses up and in. Well, Velasco got Chipper Jones out, which is no small accomplishment. Chipper's now 10 for 21 against Velasco. This guy, Tommy, has hurt him as well. He's 360 with 3 homers against Ricky.
Between Chipper and McCann, 7 home runs against Ricky Velasco.
1-2. Now with McCann up there, Bobby Cox has got the catcher's glove ready to go. McCann drives that ball to left and hits it well. Coughlin's looking up. That ball is gone. He hit it out. Put another home run on McCann's total. 4th against Velasco. 18th on the season.
Wow, he hit that ball with ease. It just looked like he reached out. Looked like he got a fastball that was up and out over the plate. Might have been a changeup. But look at that extension, nice easy swing, and got out of here easy to the opposite field.
Garrett Anderson takes a big breaking ball for a strike. Anderson, obviously not a lot of history against Velasco, his first year in the National League. He sends one out to shallow left, and Coughlin trots in and makes the catch. Tomorrow, D.C., Washington, D.C., Nationals in high definition, and a Sean West start for the Fish. Nationals going with Garrett Mock, who is 3-6. There's a strike to Escobar. And the Marlins will see on Saturday night Livan Hernandez. That's a Livan Hernandez.
He just won't go away.
Livan Hernandez, Josh Johnson start.
There's a contrast in stuff.
Good fastball by Ricky. Now Escobar, he also has good numbers against Velasco. 8 for 16 with a home run.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things going. Success against Ricky. He's had a good series. He's 5 for 11. He's hitting near 350 in this ballpark.
Chopper out towards Gonzalez. Andy's throw is high. Johnson fields it deftly and keeps his foot on the bag.
I like the way a first baseman, a guy who knows how to play it over there, you can allow that high throw. You don't have to jump up. You go on the other side if you have time. If you know you can beat the runner, go on the other side of the bag and you can make that catch and get the out.
If you sense that that throw is high and coming down.
Yeah. We saw Andy Gonzalez play a lot of positions in the infield during the spring.
Talked to Freddie today about the move in particular, and he's had a couple of things. Gonzalez is a better shortstop than Emilio Bonifacio, first and foremost. And with the uncertainty of Hanley and the hamstring, you don't want to get locked in like the Marlins did last night to Bonifacio playing the whole game at short, because number one, if he gets hurt, remember he got hit and he limped around, you're in trouble. Number two, you get late in the game and Bonifacio comes up, you can't pinch hit for him.
Wes Helms would have been the shortstop had Bonifacio had to come out of the game after being hit on that knee.
Oh, yeah.
1-2. The Phillies and Giants are stirring it up. Pedro and Lincecum. Here it's 1-0. Brian McCann has homered. Adam LaRoche takes outside. 2-2. LaRoche has hit 20 home runs spread over 3 cities. And he went around on the breaking ball. And Velasco gets the strikeout, but the Braves are on the board first. Opposite field for Brian McCann. Ball game, Atlanta on top. Bottom of the second, we'll be giving you facts and figures about drunk driving throughout this telecast. Earlier tonight, Brian Sanchez had the drunk driving goggles on. It gives you a simulation of what it's like to be drunk and try to function. And the Marlins and Sanchez cooperating. Brian went out to pitch with the goggles on. And you can see the effect.
Boy, I mean, we chuckle, but it's just amazing the effect that it has.
Uggla stands in, a 1-0 count. Brett Carroll, Andy Gonzalez to follow. Anson misses outside. Uggla's had a productive series, 5 for 10. Couple homers. His RBI total up to 72. Got a slider, and it's 2-1. Last night, he hit a fastball.
Number 25 on the year, and for Dan Uggla, number 17 in his career against Atlanta.
Check swing, and he went around. First second baseman ever to start his career with 4 seasons of 25 or more home runs. First one ever. That chopper pulled foul, 2-2.
Yeah, you see his name listed with other players who played second base, a couple. They didn't begin their career with 4 straight years of 25 or more, but during their careers they had 4 straight seasons of 25 or more. Alfonso Soriano and Ryan Sandberg.
Uggla fouls it back. Two and two. Marlins off to Washington, D.C. The Braves. 2-2 is strike 3 called. Boy, That one came a long ways. Dan Uggla, I don't think, in agreement with Jim Wolf. And Freddie isn't either.
Usually that high breaking ball doesn't get the call, and it came in high.
So an out, and here is Brett Carroll.
Hey, Tommy, man, it's about the 7th inning, man. We're going to hook you up, baby. You're looking pretty now. 7th inning, you're gone, baby.
Carroll goes after a first pitch fastball, pops it in the air. Diaz lost it, and now comes charging in and makes the catch. Braves have got the Reds in Atlanta for 3. We'll see Bronson Arroyo tomorrow night. Kip Wells and Johnny Cueto as well. Here's Gonzalez now. In AAA, he hit .259 this year. See, 102 games, stole 8 bases. As Tommy noted, he's a versatile guy. He can play all 4 infield positions. He can also play first base. Oh, and 1.
Hey, Ricky, man, you're the man.
Hanson misses away.
7th inning, man.
Puerto Rican. He was on that World Baseball Classic team from Puerto Rico.
And we saw him briefly earlier in the year, just for 7 games, mostly some defense, a few pinch hitting appearances.
In the air towards the line. Diaz over, and he runs out of room. Matt Diaz, speedy leadoff hitter that he is, or that he's turned into.
And we talked about Tommy Hanson making a quick splash on the major league scene, winning the Rookie of the Month for June. He went 4-0 in June.
Beat some good people in June, too.
They beat the last 2 wins, the Yankees and the Red Sox. That's pretty good.
They are good. Andy Gonzalez goes down. 1, 2, 3, go to pitch. Braves have the only run on a Brian McCann home run. as we go to the third inning. This November, you can train to be an umpire at the 2009 Major League Baseball Umpire Camp at baseball's Youth Academy in Compton, California. Classes, on-field instruction by Major League supervisors and former big league umps with over 200 years of combined experience. For more information, go to MLBUC.com. MLBUC.com. Ryan Church, then Hansen, then Diaz. And you know that Ricky Nolasco was watching that at bat to Dan Ugla, and he saw the big breaking ball get called for a strike. And so both these guys feature that pitch. And as I'm sure they will teach you in Compton, California, at umpiring camp, make your strike zone consistent.
Be consistent.
I wonder if they import managers, bring them in like one day of the camp, you know, guest appearance by a Lupinella.
I'll tell you what they do. It's a little hard to get Lou in the offseason or managers, but this is what they do. Compton's in Southern California, not that far from Hollywood. There are a lot of unemployed actors.
There's a fly ball that's going to actually land foul.
So they call up some of the casting companies and they say, we need X amount of guys, middle-aged that look like managers.
Can you play Billy Martin?
Can you play an actor? Yeah, that's what they do. They bring them out. Central Casting is real good at that.
Two. High pop, Baker and Johnson. And Baker calling for it, makes the catch. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Florida Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Florida Marlins. Rafael Ramirez. Could throw a Rico Cardi in there.
Or a Darrell Cheney.
Now, Darrell Cheney,
he's a shortstop. And I believe
mid-70s, late.
Yeah, and I believe actually was one of the first in the Atlanta area to go from the field up into the early TBS booth and did some TV with the Atlanta Braves.
Here's the 1-1. That was back in the good old days of the launching pad. The Braves weren't very good, but Skip and Pete were good. They had Chief Nakahoma.
Yeah, they had the TP out in left field. Chief would run out there before every game. Good job. And the reason it was especially is because Ricky didn't waste any time to put away Tommy Hansen. Just blew him away with a high fastball.
Well, he figured, you know what? If those guys are talking about Chief Nakahoma, I better hurry up.
I'll stop this in a hurry.
Yeah. Here's Diaz now. Diaz struck out back in the first.
Well, that's why you have, there's no question why you have so many Braves fans, as Cubs fans around the country. The TBS was the superstation. And people here in South Florida before Major League Baseball, a lot of people, because the Braves had spring training up in West Palm Beach, were Atlanta Braves fans.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of Braves fans throughout the South with mixed emotions on Saturday when Chipper Jones is going to go on College Game Day and pick a big football rivalry, and it sounds like he's going in Gator gear. Safe at first is Diaz.
Well, Chipper's going to take some heat. He's going to do that, huh?
That's what
on College Game Day.
It sounds like
Kirk Herbstreit.
It sounds like he's going to be wearing Gator gear. I mean, he's from Florida.
Yeah, yeah. For some reason, this is a tough play, and Diaz just beats it out. I picture Chipper more a Seminole than a Gator. So an infield base hit for Matt Diaz.
Martin Prado. And Nolasco with a strike. Prado back at second base, the spot that he's won this year as a Brave. Well, there were Brave fans not just in the South, but there were Brave fans all over the country.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because of the Superstation. I can remember growing up in Northern California seeing as many, if not more, Brave games than Giant or A's games.
They'd be on when you got home from school.
Yes. And during a rain delay, it would always be like Gomer Pyle or Mayberry.
Can't believe Chipper's taking away the Gator head from Lee Corso.
I don't know if he's going to go that far. But that's the rumor on Saturday in Atlanta. Another throw to first. Diaz has swiped 9 bags. Diaz, no doubt, would appear with his Seminole garb on. He a standout Florida State baseball player. Could you imagine if the Braves were any good during those years? When they were all over the place. Now, they did get good for a brief time, and then obviously once the 90s hit, things got rolling with the big three: Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox.
And Matt Diaz had a career average of 384 with 43 home runs at Florida State. Yeah, they had, I believe it was 82. They got to the playoffs. The Braves did. Off the end of the bat, remember, Prado was caught looking on a pitch very similar. He took it. This time he figured, I better swing, and all he was left with was the handle.
New bat, same count, 0-2. Diaz still at first. A Brian McCann home run, the only run in this game. Line drive right field. BC scoops it up. And there's nowhere really to throw it because Diaz stops at second. Braves put together a couple of 2-out hits, and that gets Chipper to the plate.
Yeah, that's the tough part about this hit. Not the type of ball you're going to dive for. Nice short hop pick, though, by Brett Carroll. The reason you don't dive for it is early in the game, and if you do, you open up yourself for all kinds of trouble. So on that particular ball, you just want to make sure you keep it in front of you.
Nolasco here in the third inning has hit the 49 pitch mark. As we told you, Chipper has been a real thorn in Nolasco's side. He is 10 for 21 in his career, 4 homers. And if you look at the cover of the Braves media guide, there is a picture of Chipper Jones swinging and watching his 400th career home run sail out of Turner Field. The guy he hit it off of, Ricky Nolasco.
Well, he has 424 now in his career. We mentioned last night 38 of those against the Marlins.
He's hit well in this ballpark. He hit very well at Shea Stadium. Here's the 1-1 in the dirt. Baker has to knock it down.
Even with the chance of Larry at Shea Stadium.
Well, I believe that he bought a few pieces of Shea Stadium. I think a row of seats. And I believe he also named one of his children, threw in a middle name, Shea.
Yes, he did.
That one fouled back. Yeah, he actually named one of his children Shea. Now, he's hit well in this ballpark, but that would be troublesome if he were to try to name one of his children after this ballpark.
They'd have to be changing names all the time.
You just think of the forms you have to fill out every year.
It'd be tough.
From you can name it either Joe or Robbie, then pro or player.
Dolphin.
Nolasco flips to first in time, and Chipper is retired. Braves leave a couple. 1-0 Atlanta. Craig?
Fascinating story, guys. April 5th, 1993. Where were you? Well, of course, right here in this stadium. I was almost in this location when the Marlins opened up their season and their major league days. First game ever. Where were you guys on that day? This is Mark and Barbara Schultz.
We were in Memorial Hospital in Hollywood.
Giving birth, or trying to give birth anyway. However, the doctor and my husband put a stop to the whole thing because they had to wait for the first pitch to be thrown out. As soon as the first pitch was thrown out, Stephen was born.
And that was just after the first pitch.
Right after the first pitch.
Now, here's the hook to the story is, Steve, tell us your full name.
My name is Stephen Marlon Schultz.
Sounds like we're on the, what was that show, To Tell the Truth. You're not kidding. Your middle name's on his license here. I mean, you can't see, but it does say Stephen Marlon Schultz. You're 16 now, and I know you tell out to people, and they probably don't believe you.
Well, I tell all my friends, and they're all like, no, that can't be true. But, yep, I was born on opening day, and I'm Stephen Marlon.
You know what's the neat thing about this, too? You really are, you are the generation of when we talk about new Marlin fans and the next generation. Well, here he is. He's driving now. You got a license, and you have the middle name. Well, what's been the neatest thing about having a middle name associated with the two-time world champions?
Well, I've been a Marlins fan ever since I was a baby, and...
Literally.
Yeah, literally. And I'm just, the Marlins in my blood.
All right, and on his license. All right, good stuff, guys. Why, as we close, why'd you put Marlon as his middle name?
It's a funny story. We checked into the hospital, and I met this gentleman there, and he got sent home, and he was telling me that he convinced his wife to change the kid's name to Marlon. I looked at my wife. She says, "Oh, no." And I said, "Well, give me the middle name at least."
You got it. All right, good to see you guys. Ricky Nolasco working a nice walk here. Maybe an honor here, Stephen Marlin's show. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Craig. Ricky Nolasco, a very important walk against Tommy Hansen as the Marlins try to draw even to the Braves in the bottom of the third. Second time through for the order now against Hansen, Coghlan, Maben, and Johnson.
Yeah, adjustment time. The first time through, he made, especially to Chris Coghlan, he made some good sliders down and in to strike him out. To John Baker, he threw some sliders down and in to him. I like that.
When he starts it over the plate, it ends up at your shoot tops. When he starts it just off the plate, it catches the middle. And that's the one Coghlan got. It's 0-1. Outside corner, 0-2. Oh, 2 coming. That's the tough one to lay off. And it's 1-2. Through the lineup. Tough first time. Still pretty tough second time. Third time through, though, teams are starting to get to him.
And I think a lot of that is because a lot of players just haven't seen him.
Coghlan stayed on the breaking ball and yanks it foul.
You and I were talking, Rich. We saw a note today on Chris Coghlan, and every once in a while you see one that just kind of blows you away and you have to look at it twice. Since Chris has come up, he's hit leadoff mostly. There were some games he didn't, but as a leadoff hitter, he came into this game hitting .318. There are only 2 other leadoff hitters in the major leagues with a better batting average, Ichiro and Derek Jeter.
One-two, and it's fouled back. Getting National League Rookie of the Month is a nice shot in the arm, especially heading into September. It doesn't matter a lick right now to Chris Coghlan if he's the Rookie of the Year or not. He has said it himself. He doesn't care about that. He just wants to win. He wants to get to the postseason. But winning the award will at least get him on the radar of people nationally. I know you had a peaceful, restful day at home until I almost texted you to say, hey, log on and check out the Sports Nation poll on ESPN.com. They had a poll for
I'm glad you did.
Who's your National League Rookie of the Year? And they gave 5 selections, and Coghlan's name was not on there.
Unbelievable. You'd have pushed my buttons about 11 o'clock in the morning.
See, I usually wait till the third inning. Third inning, if the game is kind of going slow, that's when I move in. But I would expect if they put that poll up in the next day or two, that Coghlan's name would be up there. You win a nice award like Rookie of the Month, people start to take notice. Coghlan a chopper. Nolasco's out there. Escobar's relay is not in time. And the Marlins replace Nolasco with better speed at first with Coghlan. And up comes Maben. Family Sunday on the 13th. Marlins and Nationals at 1:10. First 5,000 get a Hanley Ramirez bobblehead courtesy of Preferred Care Partners. Plus, kids can run the bases after the game in the Diamond Dash. 1-877 Marlins. Maben jumped on a fastball and pulled it down the line for a double back in the first. I asked Freddie Gonzalez, what did he see in Maben now that he didn't see when he left and went down to the minor leagues? He said, you know what, structurally, batting stance and all that, pretty much the same. Still has that short stroke. Pitch recognition, he said, that's the difference.
That's why, and this is an impressive number, that's why when he was in AAA this year, his on-base percentage was .399. Not to mention a batting average of .319.
And Maben's got that type of versatility where you can hit him in a lot of places in the order. You can lead off with him. You can put him in the 2 spot. You can move him down in the order. Coughlin bluffs. Maben takes inside. And it's 2-0. One thing Maben did not do a lot of in AAA is hit home runs. Hit 3 home runs with New Orleans. But I think for the Marlins, that's not what they were looking for. They were looking for better batting average, better on-base percentage that you just noted. Had 18 doubles, had 8 triples.
And in Maben's case, he's just 22. And it's always the last thing to come, the power. I don't know if he'll be a 30-homer guy, but I think he'll be a 15, 20-homer guy. And if he has that on-base percentage, and that's a nice package.
Coughlin is running, and Maben rips it again into left field. Coughlin didn't stop. He's headed to third. The ball gets to the wall. Here comes Coughlin. He's going to score. Hello, Cameron Maben.
Oh, what a couple of shots he has hit tonight. With Coughlin on the move, Maben rips one that got through that gap in left center as quick as I've seen a ball get through there. There goes Cogs. He peeks over his shoulder, sees Maben's line drive, and it quickly gets by Garrett Anderson. And because Coughlin was on the move, he's able to score. And I know Cameron Maben was thinking triple. He had a good read because he was able to see the throw. There's Cogs coming in to score. And Maben stayed at second base, a good choice.
So he's 2 for 2 against Hansen. And here is Nick Johnson.
He has the only 2 Marlins hits.
Well, remember what we said at the outset of the telecast. The one guy in a Marlin uniform that has seen more of Tommy Hansen than anybody, Cameron Maben. On 1 to Johnson. It's a strike. And it's 0-2.
In the case of Nick Johnson, he was not in Atlanta, so he's seeing Hansen for the first time.
The pitch misses inside. Tommy, if this were June or July, Nick Johnson might play in a few more rehab games, but the urgency of this game, the urgency right now as this month of September gets rolling, couple rehab games and right back in the fire.
Yeah, I agree with you because it's been a couple of weeks, a little more, that he's seen some live pitching and really only the game last night and one at bat the game before in Jupiter. And here he is. So his timing might not be right there where he wants it. But you're right. In June, he'd probably have a few more games. But a little sense of urgency now.
2-2. Chopper, right side. LaRoche flips. And Hansen is there. Maben ends up at third. Cantu now with 2 outs, a run across, and Jorge has a chance to give the Fish a lead. Well, we've seen Nick Johnson go back on balls, come in on balls, run to first, run to second, and so far so good.
Yeah, I think he's being cautious. He's running carefully, I guess is a good way to put it, but that's what he has to do to keep himself in the lineup.
He's cautiously optimistic, which is good. Hansen to Cantu. That's down low.
Hey guys, one thing Nick told me that, he always runs and hustles hard on ground balls like you should. And he said, that's the one thing, I just got to be careful about doing that. And he said, I don't like the idea of jogging or not going full speed to first out of the box. But I got to be a little cautious of that. And he's a little sensitive to that. So if you see him when you come to the game or on TV, that's the issue right now for him, as you mentioned.
Right now, home plate umpire Jim Wolf exchanging words with the Atlanta dugout. Somebody there not happy with the strike zone, and that I'm sure comes from Brian McCann. That last pitch to Cantu, McCann kind of flinched on, and a manager and a bench will take its cues that way. There's a breaking ball for a strike.
There's the pitch before. Might have been down. Bobby Cox didn't think it was low.
Hansen misses outside, and it's 2-1.
I think in a case of Nick Johnson getting back to his running, if he were a guy that had blazing speed, it would be more noticeable, and you might not get him in as quickly as we've seen him in this game.
There's Maben at third. 2-1 coming.
Boy, an assortment of pitches, and this is what has made Tommy Hansen so impressive in his early career. 9-3 coming into this game, but you'll see him change speeds on his curveball. He uses his slider. He'll throw either of those behind in the count, too.
Fastball off of Hansen's glove. Escobar picks it up and throws him out. Had he not gotten a piece, it would have been 2-1. But the Marlins are on the board. Cameron Maben. £160-pound male, approximately 3 hours to get completely sober after only 2 drinks. The Florida Department of Transportation wants to make sure that you think before you drink this Labor Day weekend. Cameron Maben, couple doubles. And McCann tries to bunt, fouls it off. 0-1.
We've seen him do that or attempt that a couple of times in this series. And as I pointed out, Ryan Howard or Adam Dunn, the other big guys that the Marlins put the shift on, they don't usually do that.
McCann pulls it foul. McCann hit one to left center field for his 18th home run of the season. He has feasted against Nolasco in his career. But Ricky this time finishes him with a nice running fastball. I'm not sure that this next guy can run or will run. But the Aflac Duck is here. Last Braves pitcher to lead the National League in wins outright.
Craig McMurtry. No, I'm just throwing out Andy Messerschmidt. You would think
the big three.
You would think one of the big three, and my guess is
line drive right field. Brett Carroll after it and there and makes a running catch. Great jump, great angle.
You know, for a minute when Garrett Anderson hit that ball, he probably thought, I might have a base hit here. But Brett Carroll got a great job on it quickly and then takes a good route. Did not go directly to the line, went toward the corner and pulled it in. My guess it'd have to be Smoltz, because he had that 24-win season. Who, by the way, John Smoltz, the losing pitcher today for the Cardinals. Milwaukee beat St. Louis 4-3.
Here's Escobar. Ricky pumps in a strike. Escobar bounced out back in the second.
Now, was that question Atlanta Braves? Didn't go back into Milwaukee Braves, did it? Because if you go back to Milwaukee Braves, you have to start thinking about Warren Spahn and Lou Burdett.
We're hearing Atlanta. What about one of the Negros? Did they have a 20?
Could be Phil. Phil Negro had a 20-win, 20-loss season
at the same time.
Same year, yeah.
1-1 Escobar.
That's when the Braves weren't real good. And Phil would have about 45, 50 starts. Hard calling him Phil. Everybody just calls him Nuxie.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. And he got him. Baker holds on a foul tip. 2 strikeouts for Ricky. A 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 pitches. 1-1. Little place, big taste, and by Corona, official sponsor of the timeout. Youngster in the batting cage, 1-1 ball game. Bottom of the fourth. John Baker, Dan Ugla, Brett Carroll all scheduled to appear in the fourth against Tommy Hansen. And Baker goes after a running fastball. It's 0-1.
Look it over.
Vic went down swinging in the first. Hansen has had one 1-2-3 inning. That was the second.
Yeah, the Marlins have gotten his pitch count up, and he's closing in on 70.
Meanwhile, Nolasco, with that 8-pitch inning, is sitting pretty at 62. Baker sends it down the line, and it's foul.
By the way, I have a second. Want to wish our technical director, our TD, MJ, happy birthday. I think MJ, we saw him around the chicken table yesterday. MJ's probably mid-20s.
Is that cholesterol level? Or? Baker almost got hit. But there he is.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I knew I spotted him.
See, that was his birthday biscuit. We didn't get any biscuits last night.
It's an early birthday present.
Here's the 2-2. See, now there's that big breaking ball. Remember the called third on Ugla. Both pitchers have been throwing this pitch.
Well, that's borderline. That's a tough pitch to take. You give up on it as a hitter.
You saw Hansen walk off the mound, and you know Bobby Cox turned a couple shades of purple in the dugout.
Bobby may have slammed that catcher's mitt down again. He's got that head cocked though either way. He's shaking his head.
There's a 3-2. Baker, a ground ball, and Prado flips it over to first. All right, I'll go with Nuxie.
Okay, I'm going to go with Smoltz.
And the answer, Duck, please. Russ Ortiz.
So evidently, the year Smoltz won 24, he didn't lead the league outright. That's what that question implied. He was tied for the lead, we're told.
Ugla now swings and misses.
Russ Ortiz tried to make a little bit of a comeback this year with Houston. Didn't work out too well. How about the great news the other night, or yesterday, I think it was, in Chicago?
Did you see the play Booney made?
Aaron Boone got back to the big league, started the game at first base, made a great defensive play.
And it's just a great scene as he ran off the field after that defensive play. Both dugouts were up and clapping. And that was really, really great to see. Ground ball and a broken bat. Escobar fires over to first. Ugla's out. By the way, we've seen Bobby Cox a few times with his catcher's glove, and Bobby, especially in this ballpark, likes to wear it because there's no screen from the front of the dugout to protect the players or anybody inside the dugout. We've talked about this ballpark and how dangerous it is with the roof and the dugout. I was down in the Marlins office the other day. They've got more detailed renderings of the new ballpark. And I was looking at the press box area, the playing diamond and all that. And the dugouts have screens in front of them.
Oh, nice. So Bobby can put the glove away.
Yes. There you go. That's wide open territory and really treacherous for anybody that goes over there trying to catch a pop-up. Carroll got hit. Came in and clipped him. So BC's aboard. Freddie said something before the ball game about Brett Carroll. Obviously, everyone wanted to know, well, Tell us about your lineup. Carroll wanted the changes, and he said, PC's been giving us some good at-bats since he's back. And people go back to last night, and obviously the 3-run triple. But I think Freddie as well was referencing the at-bat he had against Rafael Soriano the other night in the 9th inning.
Eventually drew a walk.
No, he bounced into a double play, but he fought off a ton of pitches.
The night before he drew a walk, had a good at-bat.
Yes. But you'll remember in that at-bat against Soriano, he was overpowered by 2 96-mile-an-hour fastballs, but then got himself back in the count, fought off a ton of those, fouled a couple of them straight back, which meant he was on the pitch.
And you know what? It was at-bats like that that got him in the lineup when he was with the ball club. Remember earlier he'd go in for defense, maybe get a pinch hitting appearance, but usually not in a key situation. But all of a sudden started to show Freddie good at bats. And all of a sudden he started to play. He was in a little bit of a platoon situation.
Hansen misses outside. Remember, it was a walk to Nolasco that opened the door and started that 3rd inning. That was the inning the Marlins got a run, and it's Hansen's pitch count that is up at 80. It's exactly what Mark Wiley talked about in wanting Ricky Nolasco to avoid. Gonzalez hits that ball to left center field, hits it well. Church after it there, and he makes the catch. Had to go a long ways, but he runs it down. Marlins come up empty in the 4th. We're tied at 1. Three swings have been the difference in this ball game. Hi, guys.
Hi, Tommy. Richie, how are you?
What you guys do?
Rookie, you okay?
We're okay. Yes,
We're behaving.
Absolutely.
Hi, Tito.
How are you?
Very good. Thank you, guys.
We got Jose Nadal from the police department who is teaching us and recommending all the people, how to drive and not to drink. If you drink, don't drive.
I thought there was a problem over there.
No. He's my parole officer. All right, guys. We're seeing a good pitching duel here tonight.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
Now, there's 3 swings here. You've got the 2 doubles by Maben and the home run by McCann, and that's kind of it so far.
Richie, I think it's great to see Maben coming over and hitting those 2 doubles, right off the bat. Yesterday he struck out coming up as a pinch hitter. And this kid has a great future, and I think he's going to be an outstanding ball player. I think he can do it all, and he's just getting settled right now in the big leagues.
That ball is ripped into right field. All right, guys, have a good show.
All right, Tommy.
All right.
Richie.
Officer, you too. As Adam LaRoche singles into right field.
I feel better now that Cookie's being taken care of.
Number 25, center fielder Ryan Church.
Here comes Ryan Church. Hansen to follow. Giants and Phillies 1-1 in that one. Actually, now Phillies just pushed across a run. In the bottom of the sixth, the Phillies get a run, and that game looks like it's headed towards the seventh. 2-1 Philadelphia.
Well, obviously getting a good start out of Pedro.
So, have you resigned yourself to the fact that that's good news?
It's hard to say that, but yeah, you need to root for the Phillies tonight.
The Marlins look at the scoreboard and they say, way to go, Mets. They beat the Rockies 8-3, and they look up there now, it's 2-1, and it's way to go, Phillies. Rockies scored on 3 solo homers in that ball game.
How about the big pinch hit the Rockies got in their game yesterday from Jason Giambi, who they picked up?
That one fouled back to the screen. You think Drew Goodman called him the Giambino?
Well, it wasn't a home run. It was only a single drove in too.
He kind of fits that ball club, though. I mean, they're a blue-collar bunch of hard-nosed sluggers. That one gets under the glove of Nick Johnson. Carroll over towards the line, slides, kicks it, picks it up. LaRoche will stop at third, and the Braves, Carroll just threw an absolute laser from the bullpen right to John Baker. But the Braves are set up with runners at second and third.
Boy, this ball hit hard. A little hanging breaking ball out over the plate. Brett Carroll trying to get on the ground just to knock it down. He knocks it down, and then look at this throw all the way on the fly. Might have caught a little bit in the lights. That's why you see John Baker reacting the way he did. But a nice recovery.
It's going to go as a double for Church. So it's second and third and nobody out. It's Tommy Hansen who's coming up. And then you got to deal with Diaz and Prado.
By the way, looking at that game in Philadelphia, Pedro's working into the 7th inning. He's gone 6 1/3, giving up just the 5 hits and 1 run. No walks and 8 strikeouts.
We'll see where the Marlins infield plays with the pitcher up.
I think with the pitcher up, you can play in. And it looks like that's the way they're going to play.
Hansen struck out back in the third. We talked earlier about Mark Wiley wanting Ricky Nolasco to pitch more to contact, pitch to get outs rather than strikeouts. Not here. Now, the fact that Ricky is a strikeout pitcher, he's going after punch-outs.
And the fact that he struck out Hansen the last time. He has 6 strikeouts and no walks.
A couple high fastballs, and it's 0-2.
Boy, just looking at that game in Philly, Tim Lincecum has 9 strikeouts. Jason Worth is homered for the 30th time this year.
Swing. 0-2. Got him. All right, there's the first out.
Reached back, gave him some heat.
Now he has to deal with Diaz. Saturday afternoons were made for baseball. This week, Fox brings you the national game of the week. Red Sox, White Sox, pivotal game for both. Fox Saturday Baseball this week 4 Eastern on Fox.
Now you're willing in this situation, and this is why the infield goes back. You move back because you don't want the Braves to have a big inning. If Diaz gets a ground ball, you get an out, they get a run, you'll take that. But if you play the infield in, he finds a hole, all of a sudden they have 2 runs.
Got pretty good speed at second with Ryan Church. It's LaRoche at third. He opens with a single. Church then doubled down the right field line. Diaz infield single in the third. He struck out in the first. Lasco has missed twice. You got Prado on deck, but now the Marlins are going to intentionally walk Diaz down.
I know what you were thinking. It does set up a double play, but if you don't get the double play,
you got to face Chipper.
You got to face Chipper.
So it's a gamble, but you know what? It's the time of the year where you got to gamble. Ricky almost airmailed that one over Bake's head. Prado singled in the third. He struck out as well in the first.
Tough guy to strike out. He's a guy that generally is going to make contact. But he has grounded in 12 double plays.
So Cantu is deep at third. Gonzalez and Ugla look for 2. And Johnson is not holding the runner on at first as Nolasco goes to work on Prado. Two for 14 in this series, and 2 for 5 in his career against Nolasco. Ooh, boy, that didn't miss by much.
Now Jim Wolf's going to have the Marlins dugout barking at him. Maybe off the plate.
So it's 2-0. Fastball into left. Base hit. LaRoche will score. Church will stop at third. And the Braves have the lead. Now the Marlins have to face Chipper with the bags loaded.
Well, that all took place because of the 2-0 count. 2-0 count. You could see how Prado was on that fastball. He knew that's what he was going to get. Bases were loaded. There was no place to put him. Chipper Jones was on deck, and he had that kind of swing.
Chipper has had the upper hand against Ricky in his career, but tonight,
that little fastball crowded him for a fly ball to center, and then the curveball, tapper back to the mound.
Ricky would take a tapper back to the mound right now if he could choose. Line drive center field, base hit. Maven on a hop, up with the ball. Runner held at third. Braves have another run, and they stretch the lead to 3-1. And Chipper Jones delivers. Bases still loaded, and here comes trouble. Brian McCann.
Boy, this is really when you have to put a stop to it, and you have some tough hitters to face to try to do it.
McCann homered in the second, struck out in the fourth. Infield still looking for 2. Looked like a changeup and a strike. It's Christian Martinez as he gets loose. And an 0-2 count quickly on McCann. With the bases loaded, look at that. 366 and 5 grand slams. 4 homers in his career against Nolasco. And a 370 average. 0-2.
Good fastball, a pitcher's pitch, but McCann was able to foul it off.
Bobby Cox trying to guide his team back to the postseason. A place where the Braves used to have an annual reservation. Check swing. Did he go? No swing.
He's way around on that. He is way around on that.
Boy, this is close.
Wake up.
You know, in my opinion, I think he held it, but you do see that call.
Braves won 14 consecutive division titles. But it has been a while since they've been back. That streak ended in 2005. Last year, 72-90. The Braves were 20 out. Their worst record since 1990. But they open play tonight. Atlanta does. 3.5 back of Colorado. With the Rockies losing to the Mets. The Marlins 4.5 back.
You know, Bobby Cox is 28 years as a major league manager. Most of those with the Braves, some with Toronto. He's only had 7 losing seasons.
One, two.
Well, the pitch count continues to go up. A lot of battles, a lot of foul balls on good pitches, and this is what becomes frustrating for a pitching coach, but also for a pitcher, because he's out there. Ricky's made good pitches to McCann. He can't put him away. He just keeps fouling him off.
Braves have 2 runs here in the 5th inning. A LaRoche single, a double by Church. Nolasco struck out Hansen after falling behind Diaz. The Fish walked him intentionally. And then RBI singles by Prado and Chipper. 1-2. Soft pop up and a long run for Coghlan. He's there. He makes the catch. Runner tags. And Coughlin's throw to the bag.
That was a good battle, and Ricky won that battle because he continued to make good pitches. Looked like he got McCann on the changeup.
He needs to keep making good pitches. Now he's got Garrett Anderson with 2 outs.
Good movement. McCann is fooled. And good hustle by Chris Coghlan to get over there and make the catch.
Anderson is flied out and lined out. He hit the shot that Brett Carroll ran down in the right field corner. It looked like it was headed for extra bases. Strike 1. off the plate. Yeah, the pitch count was under control until Nolasco arrived here in the 5th. This is the 8th man to hit for the Braves. 2 have scored. The bags remain loaded. Line shot. Johnson has it. Inning is over, but Atlanta gets 2 and reclaims the leads. 3-1. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Ricky Nolasco is going to lead it off against Tommy Hanson. Second AB for Nolasco. And Hanson throws a strike. It's 0-1. Nolasco, Coughlin, and Maven. It tells you the Marlins obviously going to try to squeeze another inning out of Ricky. Hanson misses outside. 1-1.
Yeah, Ricky at 91 pitches through 29 that last inning. Remember his last time up, Hanson couldn't throw strikes to him and he walked him.
Marlins got to run that inning on Cameron Maben's second double. And catches the corner. 1-2. And the 2 Maben doubles are the only hits for the Marlins against Tommy Hanson.
Boy, where Hanson caught everybody's attention this past year was in the Arizona Fall League. He was the MVP. He was 5-0 with an .063 ERA. Opposing batters hit .105 against him.
Ricky fouls it off.
And usually the cream of all the organizations, top prospects, usually Double-A or higher, are the ones that you see in the Arizona Fall League.
Missed outside. Ricky's done a nice job at the plate. He's worked the count now to 3-2. And he got a fastball and he swings through it. 1 out here in the 5th. Here's Craig.
Rich, thank you. With Henry Soto, he's the star of a movie just out on DVD called Sugar. It's got some great accolades, a baseball movie. And Alhenis, you're from the Dominican Republic. Hanley Ramirez has seen this movie. Big Papi, Pedro loved it. and you're the star of the movie, and it's just out. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you're right. Big Papi, Pedro Martinez, Henley Ramirez, all those guys, they saw the movie and they think the movie is great, you know?
Yeah, well, tell us the story of the movie and also the casting, where I think there were, 600 Dominican guys went out for the part. You were number 400 something, and you got it.
Yeah, they saw around like 600 guys, you know, for this role. So they got me. I was the 452. The guy they saw, you know. So after that day they invited me for another casting, for another audition with another guy. So when they come back to the States, they gave me a call when I was in the DR, and they said, "Henny, thank you. Hey, congratulations, you got the part in the movie." So that was something.
His acting debut, and he's the star. Tell us what the movie is about.
The movie is about baseball, but it's not only about baseball. It's about a Dominican guy that has a dream to become a major league player, and he wants to come to the United States and make it big and help his family to get out of poverty. It's also a movie that shows the guys and show the people and the baseball fans how hard it is to get to the major league.
One of the things he told me was that a lot of these players, when they saw this Hanley and the Big Papi and Pedro, they saw themselves in the movie as young kids.
Yeah, when they saw the movie in the Dominican, there was a film festival, and they saw the movie. They said in the DVD you can see when they say that when they were seeing the movie, they were seeing themselves. You know, they were some of the parts of the movie. They said, "Oh, that happens to me," or "That happened to one of my friends." You know, that's what made this movie like so real. You know.
Congratulations to you, and good luck. Sugar is out right now on DVD.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, take it away.
All right, thank you, Craig. Good stuff, and we'll have to check that one out. One thing Cameron Maben is not seeing are fastballs.
Yeah, he's seen all breaking balls. 4 pitches. Curves and sliders.
He's hit 2 fastballs hard for doubles. So what's he going to get 2 and 2?
I'd be surprised if he gets a fastball, but
that's the breaking ball. Now it's 3 and 2.
So now what does he see 3 and 2 after 5 straight breaking balls? I think he stays with his slider. I think he goes with his slider.
Three-2. Yep. He did. Great at bat by Maben.
Whereas in a bat earlier this year, we may have seen him chase a few of those, may not have gotten to a 3-2 count, and would never have drawn the walk.
And now is a threat to be on the move with 2 outs and Nick Johnson up. Johnson has walked and bounced out. That's outside. It's 1-0. If you've just happened by, Nick Johnson has returned. Hanley Ramirez still not in the lineup, though word is available to pinch hit. Andy Gonzalez called up. He's getting the start at short. Maben in the lineup has 2 doubles as a first base with a 2-out walk here in the 5th. Cody Ross getting the night off, so the Marlins lineup has a very different look and feel to it tonight.
Hanley did play in that game in Atlanta against Hanson. He was 0 for 2. And you got a feeling this is going to be it as far as innings for Hanson. He's closing in on 100, and the bullpen looks like they're starting to move around a little bit down there for Atlanta.
Nick Johnson gets a strike. 2-1. Johnson went around, couldn't check his swing. 2-2 now with 2 outs.
Perfect example there of Nick not having seen Tommy Hanson a lot, and he commits. You don't see him do that too often. It was a good changeup, but it's a pitch he hasn't seen a whole lot of from Hanson.
That's down low. Full count with 2 outs. That means Maben is on the move at first. And he's right at 100. Looks like Johnson's going to get a fastball. Maben will be on his way. 3-2 coming. Do it all again. Maben stole 8 bases in New Orleans in 82 games. As Tommy pointed out, one of the numbers that the Marlins really liked is on base percentage, 399. And he's been on base all 3 times in this ball game. Another 3-2 coming. Lost them. Johnson walks for the 2nd time. Up comes Cantu.
Nick Johnson maintains his 500 on base percentage as a Marlin, playing in his 14th game.
The game in Philadelphia is going to the 9th inning with the Phillies up 2-1 over the Giants. The Rockies have lost already. San Francisco a half game back in the wild card. If the Phillies win that game, the Giants fall a game back, but it obviously gives opportunity for either the Marlins or the Braves to close within Colorado and within San Francisco.
Roger McDowell with a long conversation with Tommy Hanson. I think a lot of Mets fans always remember Roger McDowell, part of that '86 World Championship Mets team. 14-9 out of the bullpen. 23 decisions. Roger McDowell pitched 75 games through 128 innings, so he's very, very busy. He had a nice career.
Cantu has popped out. He hit a shot back up the box that Hanson deflected to the shortstop Escobar for an out in the 3rd. Otherwise, that would have produced a run. Cantu takes, outside corner. It's 0-1. Breaking ball, ground ball to 3rd. Chipper gathers it in, fires across in time, and the Marlins leave a couple more. Braves still on top, 3-1. The Fish Friday on the 11th. A brief 3-game homestand starts with the Nationals 7-10. It's September 11th, Remembrance Night. Fans can play Billy Bingo for the chance to win an authentic Marlins Stars and Stripes cap autographed by a Marlins player. 1-877 Marlins. Escobar, LaRoche, and Church against Nolasco as we've arrived here in the 6th. Ricky labored through the 5th, 29 pitches, saw 8 batters, 2 of them scored. Martin Prado and Chipper Jones, all with hits.
Hey, Escobar.
Yeah, the Marlins still with just those 2 hits, the 2 doubles by Cameron Maybin.
What kind of wheels you got on your car?
One ball, 1 strike. Lasco at 9 and 8, and of course, an awful start. Ricky went down and came back a changed man, 7 and 3, with an ERA of about 3.5 in his 16 starts since coming up from the minors. Escobar hits one to right field. He hit one out in that spot last night, not tonight. Carroll makes the catch. It was Escobar who homered against Leo Nunez in almost the exact same spot last night.
Yeah, he showed us his opposite field power last night, so you held your breath on that long fly ball. Played well by Brett Carroll, raced to the warning track right at the base of the fence, and turned around, and there it was.
Ricky has 7 strikeouts and a walk, and LaRoche fouled that one back. The walk was intentional. LaRoche got that inning started with the single in the 5th. He drives it to right. BC went back, now comes in and makes the catch.
Yeah, the amazing thing, the numbers you mentioned since Ricky's return, but the strikeouts, 117 strikeouts, 25 walks in about 108 innings now since he's come back. So just great numbers, a great ratio of walks to strikeouts.
Church has popped out, and he's doubled and scored. Nolasco catches the corner. Marlins will have to deal with the Braves again this year. It's not like this is it and a fond farewell. The last road trip of the season, 3 in Atlanta, 3 in Philadelphia.
And these two clubs certainly have played even. They come into this game tonight 7-7 against each other.
One-two fastball is fouled back. Brad Lidge is in trying to shut the door in the 9th inning against the Giants. 2-1 Phillies. Ground ball. Gonzalez. And it pops out of the glove of Nick Johnson.
You know, the throw wasn't on target. They had a little trouble. Gonzalez did. Wow. And they've given the error to the shortstop. I think that's an error to Nick Johnson.
That's definitely an error.
He doesn't have to come off the bag.
No,
he can stay on the bag and make this catch right there as he stretches. Right there. That's an error to the first baseman, not the shortstop. I'm not putting E6.
I've already written E3. Greg Norton's going to pinch hit, so Tommy Hansen's out of the ball game. To left, Coughlin is there, and he makes the catch. No harm, no foul. But one error. In this one. Last night, after his big home run, BC and CC got to Wes Helms. Look at it, the two rookies. And Wes, such a good sport, said they'd better sleep with one eye open. And he took it in, you know, there are some guys, veterans, that if the rookies pied him, they might not take it that well. Wes took it just fine.
Yeah, I think it was great, those two guys, because he's taken a lot of effort and concern in working with those two young guys, letting them know how the game should be played. So I thought that was great.
Chris Medlin into the ball game. Is it just me, or have we seen Medlin every night?
Well, we saw him last night, but for only 2/3 of an inning, and he gave up 4 hits and 2 runs.
We did not see him on Monday night, so it is just me. Though he did pitch Tuesday and then last night's appearance. So 3 nights in a row for this right-hander, who was a starter coming up in the Braves organization.
Who we have seen a good changeup, too. Bullpen action, Hanley Ramirez getting loose. So we know that he's well and is available, and certainly available to pinch hit. I think down there you just go down, do that, get yourself loose a little bit. And I would guarantee as a kid in the Dominican, somewhere along the line he pitched.
I would guarantee you he would love to pitch again just for an inning. A lot of position players still hold that dream true until the day they retire. Baker takes down low. Medlin lost him. He gestures in towards home plate. And the young right-hander has walked the leadoff man here in the 6th inning.
Well, the Marlins have drawn 5 walks and a hit batter. And Bobby Cox has been all over Jim Wolf most of the evening. Not pleased with a lot of the calls.
No, Bobby's not happy. Here's Ugla now.
You wonder what Jim Wolf's brother Randy would think of his strike zone. He's just not calling that low strike.
Baker at first. You got Ugla and then Carroll. And certainly I'm sure Hanley is loosening up because you've got Andy Gonzalez and the pitcher coming up. And that one kicks off the glove of McCann. Pass ball.
That's a tough one. A lot of times that one's called a wild pitch. I think sometimes, and we talk about this often, Rich, a change of scenery. I mean, even if the guy who's coming in from the bullpen might even have better stuff. I don't think that's the case here, but sometimes it is. But just a different look when you've been held to just 2 hits. Just a different look helps you out. And it has been changed to a wild pitch.
1-1 to Ugla. Dan 0 for 2, 5 hits in this series, 2 of them home runs. That's down low. It is over in Philadelphia. Brad Lidge closes. And so the Rockies have lost and the Giants have lost. Of great interest to both of these teams.
How about Lincecum had 11 strikeouts. Pedro had 9 in his 7 innings.
There's the changeup. 2-2.
That's the one thing you learn right away watching Chris Medlin is that he'll throw that changeup to lefties and righties.
Changeup got him.
How about the Phillies in that series? 3 games. They scored 3 runs, and they took 2 of 3 from the San Francisco Giants.
Eric O'Flaherty, the lefty, is loosening up. Brian Sanchez in the Marlins pen. It wasn't an easy save for Lidge. After the first 2 outs, the Giants put a couple runners on and had a runner at third base when the game ended. Carroll got clipped by a pitch by Tommy Hanson. Hanson went the first 5. Medlin here. Breaking ball for a strike. Braves high on this right-hander. Not real big. He's 5'10", 190. 10th round pick back in 06. Santa Ana Junior College.
Hanley has a bat. He's ready.
And Gonzalez is on deck. Then you got the pitcher spot.
It's out of here.
It's outside. And the count's 2-1. Breaking ball up and in. And BC has run the count to 3-1. Poor Bobby.
Yeah, the look tells it all.
Yeah. BC left field. That ball's hit well towards the corner. That ball is off the wall. Round third. Coming home is Baker. And Brett Carroll makes it a 1-run game.
And again, so much of it goes back to getting yourself in that count when you have a chance to get a fastball. He got the fastball from Medlin, ran the count 3-1, and took advantage of it. The Marlins got a little bit of a break. So many times you see that ball bounce and then bounce over that short wall down the left field line. This one was close enough to the wall that it bounces and skips up real high. And so it stayed in, allowed John Baker to score from first base.
Well, here's Hanley. And Tommy, the very reason the Marlins called up Andy Gonzalez is this. If this were Emilio Bonifacio coming to the plate, the Marlins probably could not pinch hit Hanley for him. Now, I'm not sure if Hanley's going to go in and play short. He may not. But you can't take that chance if you've got only 2 guys that can play shortstop. Now the Marlins have 3. So Hanley can pinch hit here. And if he is not well enough to stay in the game, Bonifacio can come in and play short.
And keep in mind, Hanley's been scuffling a little bit at the plate. He comes in an 0 for 14, but he also comes in with that nice 375 batting average with runners in scoring position.
One 0 pitch. That's out. Medlin changing speeds. So Hanley hitting here in the 8 spot. The 9 spot is due up next. Right now, Cody Ross is on deck. We've seen the lefty O'Flaherty ready to go. Hanley into right field. That's a base hit. BC round third. He's coming home. Ball gets loose. Hanley jogging into second. And the Marlins have tied it. And Hanley Ramirez with an RBI single. Probably an error on Diaz in right. Bonifacio will run for Hanley. It's nice to have him back.
And it was a swing, base hits just like that. We saw Hanley putting together so many key hits, RBIs. You can see a little limp in his gait as he goes up the line. But tying the game with a base hit to the opposite field. Terrific swing by Hanley Ramirez. And you're right, an error charge to Diaz, the right fielder.
Tommy, the Marlins lineup had a real different feel to it with Maben in there, with Carroll in there, with Gonzalez in there, and that has allowed the Fish in this spot to go deep into their bench with some pretty quality bats. Hanley and now Cody Ross. Bonifacio at second. Excellent speed there. Medlin snaps off a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Bottom of the 6th, the Fish have 2. They've tied it at 3. Into the road for Ricky Nolasco. If the Marlins can take the lead and keep it here, they can deliver a win to Ricky.
And 2 guys back to back. We mentioned Hanley breaking his 0 for 14 with a base hit. Cody Ross has had a tough series, 0 for 10 in the series, so he gets up there with a chance to do the same thing.
Things you think about as a manager. Ross pinch hitting here against Medlin. You've got Helms and you've got Glode. But you got the lefty in the bullpen. And if you went to Glode, they'd probably bring the lefty in. And I think Freddie really wants to save Glode for the 9th inning for Soriano.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. That's why you pinch hit Cody Ross here.
He's 4 for 4 with that walk-off homer in his career against Soriano. And Ross just missed that one. Pulls it foul. It's 0-2.
And you also hold on to Wes Helms a little bit, too. It's about that time of game where Wes starts thinking about it. First 2-3 innings, he's pretty much relaxed. Then about the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th inning, he gets the bat, starts getting his game face ready.
He's got a routine. Ross Glode told us that it took him about 2 weeks to pick up on that routine. Ball in the dirt.
because Gloat has a different routine.
He has a very different routine.
Yeah.
He's a little more laissez-faire about it. But some of the guys that have been on the bench, Brett Carroll talked about following Wes around and seeing exactly what he did to prepare for pinch hitting at bats. Ross, right field, well hit, fair ball, into the corner. Here comes Bonifacio. Marlins take the lead. Cody delivers. 2 big pinch hits off the bench. First it's Hanley. Then it's Ross.
Well, the Marlins went after Medlin the other night, and they're doing the exact same thing here tonight with great hitting from 2 guys who've been slumping a little bit. They stayed back. They went the other way. Hanley did. Look at this swing by Cody Ross. Just perfect. Down that right field line, a double, and putting the Marlins ahead. So Cody Ross on the year now, 32 doubles, and a big pinch hit there.
Bobby Cox going to the bullpen. 4-3 Fish. Here is our Maroney call to the bullpen.
When you need a car, a truck or van, who you gonna call? Maroney!
A 4-3 lead. Chris Coghlan stands in, 1 out. Cody Ross at second, and Eric O'Flaherty misses up.
So the lefty-lefty matchup, that's why Bobby Cox made the move. Early on, the Marlins had been 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. 3 for 3, though, the last 3 at-bats in those situations.
Our Toyota trend on Chris Coghlan leads Major League rookies with 33 multi-hit games. A 10-game hit streak. Note to major media outlets watching tonight, in the future, when you put up a poll with National League Rookie of the Year candidates, include this guy.
Or you're showing your ignorance.
Three and one.
Hey, and by the way, Rich, guess what? They've changed that error from Andy Gonzalez to Nick Johnson on that ball that Church hit.
All is right in the world.
All is right. We thought that was the case.
Coghlan getting a 3-1 pitch. And he got a fastball. He popped it up, though. Chipper towards the tarp. And he dropped it. He dropped it.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen Chipper drop one of those. I mean, it wasn't an easy play. But he's so sure-handed, you usually don't see him drop that ball. Had the tarp to deal with. He was near the fence. And he's going to get an error. Tough one.
Wow. 17 errors.
17.
Coughlin, that's a base hit. Down the line it goes. Ross around third. He's going to score. And Chris Coughlin, an 11-game hitting streak and a 2-run lead.
All right, note to media outlets who put up polls about Rookie of the Years. Include this guy. See the sign? Beautiful at bat. Nice swinging. Off the lefty, too. O'Flaherty. Well, the Marlins now 4 for 4 in their last 4 at-bats with runners in scoring position.
Nobody in the Marlins lineup had a hit through the first 5 innings except the man at the plate. Cameron Maben, a pair of doubles and a walk on the night. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Anybody that has watched the Marlins over the last couple of weeks, and especially in the first 3 games of this 4-game series, knows that you can never have enough runs, and that add-on runs are enormous. A low strike to Maben, and it's 0-2. The inning opened with the walk to John Baker. It was Chris Medlin in relief of Tommy Hanson. A strikeout of Uggla. Brett Carroll doubled in a run. Hanley Ramirez, a pinch hit RBI single.
So last night the Marlins 4 hits and 2 runs off Medlin. Tonight 3 hits and 4 runs off Chris Medlin.
Cody Ross, an RBI double.
And in line for the win, should the Marlins hold this lead, would be Ricky Nolasco. A long way to go, though. 9 more outs to get.
Coughlin is at second. Maben trickles one out towards Prado, and he makes the play to first. It's going to give Nick Johnson some swings against the lefty, with Coughlin 90 feet away in the bottom of the 6th. In a game that's very important to both of these teams. Marlins have a chance to pick up a full game on both Colorado and San Francisco, and Atlanta for that matter. It would pull the Marlins and the Braves even.
Well, that's where they were when they started this series.
One more run.
It would bring them to within 4 games of the wild card.
Give the Marlins their 70th win.
It's a hit to run.
Nick Johnson ground ball, base hit center field. Add-on run. Coughlin scores. So Nick Johnson returns after a 2-week absence on the disabled list. And what does he bring with him? 2 walks and an RBI single.
Well, a couple of lefties doing damage against the left-hander, Chris Coughlin, and that swing by Nick Johnson. And you are absolutely right, Rich, when you talk about the add-on runs. They are so important.
Cantu now. 9th man to come to the plate.
Hit around, hit around.
5 have scored. McCann. That's going to be another pass ball. We just put up the graphic showing McCann among the league leaders in pass balls. Now they did change that first one to a wild pitch.
Yeah, first one a wild pitch, with that one more of a pass ball, yeah. When they're saying wild pitch.
No way.
I'm on the wrong page tonight.
Really? One to Cantu. There's a strike. All right, let's take a look at that again. For those of you scoring at home, that's a pass ball.
That's a pass ball.
That's
if ever there were a pass ball, that was a pass ball.
There's no question about that.
At the umpire school in Compton, that's shown as a pass ball.
Here's the 1-2. Cantu, that's a base hit. Take it easy, Nick.
And that's a base hit.
Take it easy, Nick.
Nice and easy. All right.
There were questions as to whether the Marlins' emotional win would have any carryover into this ball game. And with the Braves up 3-1 coming into the bottom of the 6th, it looked like maybe not, but the Marlins have exploded for 6 runs.
How about the hits in this inning that have driven in runs? Hanley the other way. Cody Ross the other way. Chris Coughlin the other way. Nick Johnson up the middle. And Jorge Cantu the other way. Great approaches, great swings.
Baker started it all with a walk. That was against Medlin. The last 3 hits have come against O'Flaherty.
Well, this has become a big inning. The Marlins batted around in the 6th inning last night and scored 5 times. So 6 runs tonight in the 6th.
Yeah, but remember last night the Marlins had that 4-run lead.
A short memory. I tried to forget that.
And that went up in smoke in a real hurry.
I just remembered Wes's walk-off.
That's selective memory, and that's good, and that's a base hit. John Baker legs out, an infield single. Left-handed pitcher falling off the mound. Sometimes it's not easy to get started back towards first.
And Bake will take that. Any catcher will take that infield base hit. A good effort by LaRoche to try to flip it out of the glove. But John Baker in his 2nd at bat here in this inning has been on base twice, a walk, and now an infield. Look at him chugging. He knows he's going to beat O'Flaherty right there.
Hugles 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts.
So 2 hits the Marlins had coming into this inning, and they have 7 in this inning.
Brian Sanchez. Ooh, a strike. And it's 0-2. That one had a little run on it. Baker and Cantu. Braves get the Reds next. Marlins get the Nationals next. Woody Carlisle. Outside, 2-2.
Yeah, the Braves will send Derek Lowe and Jurgens and Tim Hudson up against Bronson Arroyo, Kip Wells, and Johnny Cueto.
Marlins 3 in Washington, 3 in New York, with an off day on Labor Day. Ugla line smash, and it's caught there by Prado. Big inning for the fish. BC, Hanley, Ross, Coughlin, Nick, Cantu, even Bake. 7-3, Marlins on top of the Braves, top of the 7th inning. Our telecast tonight brought to you in part by the Florida Department of Transportation. Wants to make sure you think before you drink this Labor Day weekend. We've had some goggles here this weekend, and the goggles simulate what it would be like if you were under the influence. And Brian Sanchez, before the ballgame, put the goggles on and attempted just from 60 feet, 6 inches to throw some pitches. And that is, it's almost disturbing to watch that and realize how much that affects your ability to function. And we'll hear actually from Sanchez in the postgame show on Marlins Live as to what it felt like, not only when he pitched, but he also walked around with them before the ball game as well. And Sanchez in, dials in a strike, Diaz, Prado, and Chipper. And it's 0-2. Oh, 2 coming. Got him.
Well, some changes in this inning, and again, it allows Freddie in September to make a few. Wes Helms comes in. We've seen this move. He goes to third base. Bonifacio came in a pinch run. He'll stay in the game at short. Jorge Cantu moves across the diamond at first base. And remember, Cody Ross with that big base hit. He stays in the game and goes to center field. And of course, Brian Sanchez comes in to pitch.
Martin Prado. So Ricky Nolasco going 6 innings. And Nolasco has put himself in a position to pick up win number 10. He needs help from the bullpen. That pen needs to get 8 more outs, and Sanchez misses outside to Prado, who's got 2 hits. With the arrival of some other arms, Sanchez can go back to being a later in the game guy, in which the Marlins have used him. He kind of worked his way into that role from middleman into all of a sudden in tight spots, 7th, 8th inning you would see him.
And then when Badenhop went on the disabled list, he became the 2 or 3 inning guy.
So it's a credit to Sanchez that he's been able to fulfill both of those roles.
We talked about Ricky with the possibility of getting the win, his 10th win. He would be only the second Marlins starter to have double figures in wins. Of course, Josh Johnson with 13.
High fly ball left field. Back goes Coughlin. Just shy of the track. Makes the catch. All right, Florida residents, the Marlins have just announced an online ticket offer exclusively for you. Friday, September 11th, Florida residents and their families can purchase infield box seats for just $20. Visit marlins.com/Florida residents. Marlins baseball is where you want to be. Here is Chipper.
These are the kind of situations you like to face Chipper Jones. 4-run lead, nobody on base.
Mark Wiley talked about that sequence with Tim Wood last night and said that the pitch that Chipper hit was the same one that Wood had thrown to him that he took for a ball during that at bat. He said you can't double up on a guy like Chipper. Coughlin makes the catch. Sanchez 1, 2, 3 without the goggles. It's 7-3. with an RBI double. Hanley Ramirez with a pinch hit single to right. And the hits just kept coming. Cody Ross, a pinch hit double.
And Rich, they kept coming to the opposite field. That was even better. Some great approaches, great swings. Coughlin there. Nick Johnson right back up the middle, out of the reach of Prado. Jorge Cantu stays back, drives one into right center field. So everybody staying back, going the other way, getting some clutch base hits. That was great to see.
A 6-run inning, a 4-run lead. And we check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Thank you very much, Rich. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a big night when the Marlins come back home. It's Saturday, September the 12th. It's Hispanic Heritage Night and also University of Miami Hurricanes Night. We'll have 20,000 Cane fans alone in here, and the big Heritage Night, family night, so we're going to have over 35,000. And among the things you'll see here is this jersey. What looks different? I'm going to give you a second look after the pitch. Yes, Marlins is on here. However, it's Los Marlins. The Marlins are going to wear this jersey on September the 12th. I think the Mets have done this as well on Spanish Heritage Night. Also, Willie Chirino will be in concert after the game and PA announcements in both English and Spanish. And Tony Perez and Benito Santiago, the original Marlin catcher, will sign autographs before the game. How about that? Los Marlins.
We've seen that around baseball. I saw Los Gigantes. The Giants have done it. If Willie Chirino wasn't available, you could have Los Lobos. Brett Carroll, Emilio Bonifacio, and then Cody Ross. Buddy Carlisle, please welcome him to the telecast. 16th appearance for Carlisle. He's kind of been in and out of the Braves bullpen the last couple of seasons. Billy relaxing. Oh. Drive, left center field, hit well, hit deep. Off the wall. BC will stop at second. Almost got out of here. Boy, what a 2 nights for Brett Carroll.
Boy, given an opportunity. The huge double last night, 2 doubles tonight. Look at him go down, get that fastball about ankle high. Almost hit it out. Think about where this is in some other ballparks. Off the National League scoreboard. And Brett Carroll has been on base 3 times, 2 for 3. Billy loves it.
Here's Bonifacio. This has been a problem area for a guy that should be a good bunter and has to be a good bunter to be successful as a big leaguer. And for Bonifacio, sacrificing has not been easy.
Well, and again, I pointed it out last night. He has to just approach it like he's bunting for a base hit. He's a better bunter when he does that.
Which is backwards, because you always hear many times guys will get scolded for, instead of trying to sacrifice, trying to bunt for a base hit in a sacrifice spot.
But with Bonifacio, that's what you have to tell him to do. Just go say, bunt for a base hit. Forget about the guy at second base.
He pulls it.
That's all right. That's what he did. He tried to bunt, he pulled it, he got the job done.
Just get the job done, and he did it. He's going to get a sacrifice for that. That's the best hit sacrifice bunt we've seen all year.
Yeah, it was a one-hopper.
I know.
But give credit also to Brett Carroll, who got a great jump.
Yeah, he read it off the bat. Braves going to have to bring the infield in. Marlins trying to add another run here in the bottom of the 7th. tell you what tonight has done as well for Brett Carroll and Cameron Maven. They have shown Freddy Gonzalez that in the next month, big game, tight game, no worries about putting them in the lineup.
Absolutely.
Cody into center field.
And Cody's out of it. Pinch hit, double to drive in a run, a single right back up the middle. That is great to see. He'd had some poor at-bats early in this series. You can't keep him down too long.
Here comes Coghlan now. He is 1 for 4 with an RBI double himself. Wes Helms on deck.
Boy, the last 9 at-bats that the Marlins have had with runners in scoring position, they're 7 for 9.
Good night, good night. Good night.
And one of those outs was Dan Uggla's line drive to second base for an out.
9 hits in the last 2 innings. Braves bullpen, Boone Logan is up. Two and two. Flight to Washington, D.C. after this ball game. Get in the early hours of tomorrow morning. Get ready for 3 in Washington. Off day on Monday in New York. And then 3 against the Mets.
A nice day. I looked ahead. The weather looks like it's going to be nice in the city.
Ground ball. Coghlan's got another hit. An 11-game hit streak. 2 more hits tonight.
Note to media outlets who have rookie polls include Chris Coghlan.
Here comes Helms. And I don't understand how you can have a poll in the first place and miss him. I mean, if you look at the league leaders for rookies, he's leading in batting average. He's leading in hits.
He's leading in multi-hits. He's leading in total bases. He's leading in on-base percentage.
So how do you miss him?
You're not directing that at me, of course.
No. Garrett Jones in Pittsburgh is having a nice year, and he's hit 18 home runs.
Let's see, how many games are the Pirates out right now? Are they in any kind of a wild card chase? Oh no, they're in last place, 25 games out. That's where McCutchen is too. You got me going. Every night you just started to.
See, you didn't know this, but when we both re-signed our contracts, in mine, I was contractually obligated to push your buttons at least once a game, just to help drive viewership and ratings.
So now I'm going to have to read your contract too.
Well, this was Wes Helms in the bottom of the 9th, walking off with a home run. Just look at the smiles and the look on everybody's face. Helms rolls it up the middle. Out there, Escobar's turn is a good one as he hopped over the runner, Cody Ross, and turned the double play. Yeah, look at him. Uncle Wes, welcome home. Marlin hold leaders, Dan Meyer, Leo Nunez atop the list. You two can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. Remember those flowers that Billy the Marlin had? Well, they were in reserve, and a young couple has just become engaged. How about that?
I see smiles, I see tears.
How cool is that?
And a happy ending.
Well, let's concentrate on the hold of the game first. Raniel Pinto against Brian McCann, and he misses up with a fastball. Two and oh.
When you look back at little things in this game, it's easy to focus on the offense, especially in the sixth inning. But I'm just looking back in the sixth inning in the top half, when Ricky Nolasco was able to shut down the Braves after they had had a big inning off of him in the fifth. Scored a couple of runs, had 4 hits, and he was able to have a nice sixth inning.
Two and two. Baker held it. Oh, wait a minute. Did it hit the dirt? Well, it was a foul ball. If it hit the dirt, he should be still alive. It was tough to tell. Little squibber. Pinto off the mound, kicks it, and fires to first.
Yeah, one thing, Pinto has trouble feeling his position. We've seen this a number of times. Has a chance to get an out here. Just can't hang on. Really, at this point, shouldn't throw. And he's charged with an error. He really has been thinking about trying to get McCann out, because it was McCann, remember, got the big hit against him in Atlanta. Remember, a base hit, drove in 2 runs, and had a chance to get him out there.
Garrett Anderson now. It's a game or a drill that has disappeared from baseball, and it's the pepper game. Kids growing up today probably don't even know what it's about. Now, Jim Wolf, did he just toss Bobby? Bobby Cox.
I don't think he's tossed him yet, but
I think he did.
Maybe he did. I think I saw awful.
He said, "You got to go." Is what he just said. Yep.
Yeah, there he is. Well, you can see this coming because Bobby's been on him. They've not been on the same page all night. So it really was just a matter of time.
Bobby is taking his time. The all-time leader in ejections for a major league manager.
He just adds to that. It's a number they do not put in the.
I always look for it.
I do too.
I'm always looking for that.
They do not put it in the Atlanta Braves notes.
I think he's up in the high 130s, maybe low 140s now. Is my guess.
Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. Just add to it tonight.
It's not in his bio, under all the pennants and consecutive titles and postseason appearances.
What kind of rims do you have on that car? You got those low profile tires there?
Swing and a miss. Before Bobby got run, I was headed towards the pepper game.
Yeah, where were we going? Yeah, that's right.
And to me, that was a game pitchers played an awful lot of. And you almost look at modern day pitchers, relief pitchers especially, and you say, boy, they could use 3 months of that to help themselves out defensively.
Hey, see, you're preaching to the choir, because what it does, what does a pepper game do? You get some pitchers. Let's say you have 4 or 5 pitchers playing. You have one with a bat in his hand. He's learning and working on a little bat control. Maybe if he gets a chance to hit, maybe that'll help him. The other guys are working on throwing the ball to that guy with the bat and throwing it in a hitting area, so throwing strikes. And they're also working on their fielding, their footwork. They're doing baseball skills. We've gotten away from baseball skills, and everything's gone into the weight room.
And everybody is so specialized that you would probably have to designate pepper specialists on your staff.
And I think there's room for both. I think the weight room is important in today's game. But I think the other things are too, and we just don't see those anymore. Now you see signs that say no pepper.
In fact, now the no pepper signs have disappeared because people have stopped playing pepper altogether.
If you put up a no pepper sign now, people would go, what? Used to be a great game. You could just play with another kid. You know, it would help you in a lot of little areas.
Because you could, even Billy. Now I don't know how many times Billy has been run. That's out. Sit down, Billy. At the knees. Escobar walking up the line.
Hey, let's check that TV in the back seat.
Full count, 1 out. Bonifacio around it. Uggla's turn in the dirt. Cantu scoops. Raniel Pinto plays a little pepper and gets out of the 8th. That simulate being under the influence. The hopper took his turn with the glasses on and tried to walk a straight line. Fatal Vision is the name of the glasses. It gives you different levels of inebriation. Way over the limit for the hopper.
Wow, what a demonstration that certainly makes a point. And great job by our guys who were guinea pigs, Brian Sanchez and Burke Badenhop.
And on Marlins Live, Sanchez is going to, we'll have some sound from him about what it was like to have those Fatal Vision goggles on. Hi. Hi.
You know, your eyes just look. There's our producer,
John Sulzer.
John Sulzer. He had trouble getting out of the booth that night.
Ryan Church makes the catch. Here comes Cantu. Luis Valdez in the ball game.
Yeah, that was Brett Hayes getting an opportunity to swing the bat. Unfortunately, a fly ball. Gurecki comes in the game. Clint Salmons is behind the plate.
Cantu fouls it back. Jorge Cantu has an RBI single. A 1-for-4 night. He's driven in 4 runs in this series. Get the feeling the Marlins are going to see Tommy Hanson one more time in that 3-game series in Atlanta. That one is smoked up near the Coughlin's Cowgirls, forcing one cowgirl to retrieve a souvenir. Cantu, fly ball right field, out of the reach of Diaz. fastball is smacked to right. Diaz after it, and he's there, and he makes the catch. So a couple of outs here in the 8th. Here comes Bake. John Baker's been aboard twice. He's walked and scored, has an infield single. Sends that one to center field. That's hit well, and it's over the head of Church and off the wall. And John Baker chugs into second with another double. I'm sure the stat is somewhere, but you know they keep home run ratio for the number of homers per at bat. We ought to figure out Baker's double ratio.
25th double. Has a little over 300 at bats. And this one was smoked. So he's got an infield base hit and then a double. One hopper off the center field wall. The Marlins with the 13 hits, Rich, have 7 doubles.
Ken Lee is our vice president of graphics and information. Keith Gamble is his sergeant at arms. Guys, do they even keep that statistic? Is it retrievable somewhere? So a double every 12.5 at bats. Now, that's just part one of the answer. We need to find out where that ranks and who's the best at that. How does Baker stack up?
That would take some serious work and dedication.
And we're running out of outs for our crack stat. They've already started to pack the gear for the plane, because you don't want to miss the plane.
Maybe we could get the Aflac Duck to work on that.
You think the Aflac Duck is even here? He's long gone.
He makes a brief appearance and then he's out of here.
The car comes to get him and take him to the airport. Ugla takes high, and it's 3-1. Ugla walks. So Dan is aboard. Here comes Brett Carroll. He's had a key role in this ball game, as he did last night. 2 doubles, 2 runs. RBI double in that big 6th inning. The Marlins had 6 runs in the 6th to erase a 3-1 Braves lead.
You know what? The fans like Brett Carroll too, because they like the way he plays. They like his approach.
The doubles leader, by the way, in the National League is Brad Hopp of Colorado, and he's got 38 doubles. Sharp ground ball, chipper, a flip on to second in time, and the inning is over. On to the 9th. Marlins try to close this deal and get the split. Lindy's coming on. Marlins Baseball and Sun Sports brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Tobacco Free Florida. Tobacco Free Florida wants you to be tobacco free. And by Honda South Florida. Visit your South Florida Honda dealers online at sfhondadealers.com. 8-3 Fish. The Braves had a 3-1 lead, and then the Marlins exploded against the Braves bullpen. 6 runs in the 6th, added a run in the 7th, and that means Lindstrom comes into a game with a 5-run cushion. He gets LaRoche, Ryan Church, and Tommy Hanson. Well, our crack staff has essentially refused the doubles assignment. They have undertaken the Bobby Cox total. 6 ejections this year, 149 in his career. I will say though, for Bobby, his ejections are nowhere near as demonstrative as some other managers.
Yeah, I mean, he never left the dugout.
And that's you. I mean, he doesn't come out breathing fire like Lou Piniella or Earl Weaver or Billy Martin. When you think managers and ejections, those are some of the first names that come to mind, right? I mean, you would have thought Earl Weaver would have been ejected 150 times. Ross comes in and makes the catch.
This was a slow burn, though, because this started early in the game. A couple of tosses of his catcher's mitt, and then Jim Wolf had just finally had enough, and so that's it. And Bobby Cox probably had enough of watching Jim Wolf, too.
And I'll say another thing about his 149 career ejections. I'll bet you a good deal of them were to protect one of his players and keep one of his players in a game. When he sensed that one of his guys was about to get run, Bobby would get in there and take the hit, and he would get run.
And that's just a little nuance of being a good manager.
Church got hit
in
the foot.
Number 26, Brooks Conrad pinch hitting.
Brooks Conrad gets the pinch hitting assignment. There's a look at Conrad. Braves moving their AAA affiliate to the new ballpark in Gwinnett. So their AAA team nice and close. Drive to right. BC, you can almost see him looking for it and dancing in and out of the lights, just trying to get the right angle.
Yeah, that kind of look tells exactly that he had some trouble picking that in and out of the lights. A little leap at the end. And as Wes Helms said the other night, there are times that you put the glove up, you know where it's going to be, but you don't see it because at that point in time it's in the lights.
It's one of the travails of playing baseball in a football stadium, is the lights are not set like most major league parks. Not that you can't lose a ball in the lights in the major league parks that are built for baseball, but it happens a lot less often than it does here. And as you pointed out, Qualcomm Stadium.
Yeah, it used to happen there quite often, which is also a football stadium, or was. Now it's just football. Are they getting a new football stadium?
They're trying.
In San Diego?
They're trying. One and one. Lindstrom. One of the plus fastballs in the game against one of the real good fastball hitters in the game, Diaz. And so Lindstrom spins one up, and it's 2-1.
Gear yourself up for that fastball, and then a slider, might have been the split. When one of those comes at you, it's hard to react.
2-2. Fastball struck him out, 99 miles an hour. Marlins win it. Big game tonight, big win tonight. Last night, a lot of different guys contributed. There